Have you ever wondered what AuDHD actually feels like? Not what the traits are on paper, but what it's like to live every day with both autism and ADHD at the same time. Because if you're here, chances are you're not looking for a diagnostic checklist. You're looking for something that explains your reality. And the reality of being AuDHD doesn't always look dramatic from the outside, but on the inside, it's complex, intense, and often exhausting. So let's talk about what it actually feels like, not in theory, but in real life, because it's not just a combination of traits, it's a whole internal world. Let's start with how your mind works. Not what people think ADHD looks like, but how it feels inside your head. Your thoughts don't line up in neat rows. They come fast, tangled, sometimes brilliant, and sometimes gone before you can use them. You start something, get momentum, and then it just disappears. It's not that you forgot, it's that the thread slipped away before you could tie it to anything. You crave structure, but you can't hold on to it. You try new systems and they work for a while, then one day they don't, and you can't explain why. People talk about executive dysfunction like it's just a list of tasks you didn't do, but for you, it's the breakdown between wanting to do something and being able to. You see what needs to be done, you care about doing it, and then your body just won't move. Your brain skips the part that turns awareness into action, and you blame yourself because everyone else seems to have a follow through button that you can't find. And it doesn't stop at thinking. Emotionally, things feel just as out of sync. It's not that you're too sensitive, it's that your emotional responses don't always match the moment. You might feel totally flat when something big happens and get hit by emotions days later out of nowhere, or cry over something small because your system is already overloaded. You might feel guilt before you've even done anything wrong, like you're always bracing for a shift in tone, trying to soften your presence just in case. And if you do feel things strongly, well, you judge yourself for that too. You question whether you're overreacting or underfeeling. You're constantly decoding not just how others feel, but whether your own emotions are allowed. And the worst part, well, even when nothing is wrong, your brain replays it anyways. You revise, rehearse, rethink everything that you said or didn't say. And people will say, well, just let it go. But your brain doesn't do just. There's always another layer to process and no off switch. And then there's your body, your sensory world, which doesn't always cooperate either. You might rely on white noise just to keep your mind steady, or perhaps your shirt tag feels like it's slicing into your neck. A sound that you loved yesterday might make you clench your jaw today. Someone chewing nearby might make you want to scream. Other times, you don't even notice that you're hungry, cold, or in pain until you are overwhelmed. It's not about preferences, it's about unpredictability. And that's what makes it so hard to explain. You're not being picky, your nervous system just doesn't filter things predictably. It gives you too much or nothing at all, and you never know which version of you is going to show up. And because others can't see it, they assume you're exaggerating. Even you start to doubt it, but it's not about fragility. It's about flooding and having to pretend you're fine just to keep moving. And all of that, the overload, the confusion, the unpredictability shows up socially too. You pay attention to all the signals, tone, body language, rhythm, but that doesn't mean you understand them. So you mirror what you see, you adjust your voice, you rehearse your answers, but afterwards, you don't know if you were actually you. Sometimes you go quiet, other times you overshare. And either way, you end up replaying every word in your head. You wonder, was that normal? Did I make it weird? Should I have said less or more? And because none of it feels automatic, You learn to calculate everything. You try to be small enough not to annoy people, but not so small that people forget you're there. It's not introversion. It's not social anxiety. It's social survival after years of being misunderstood. You don't want to isolate. You're just tired of translating everything you feel before you can speak it. And all of this, the overwhelm, the freeze, the confusion, starts long before you have words for it. Even before you knew the word AuDHD, you knew something was different. You watched other people move through life with ease you couldn't fake. They seemed to have instructions you never received. You tried harder, you smiled more, you masked everything, but under the effort, there was always this quiet question. Why is this so hard for me? Why does everyone else seem to bounce back, stay organized, connect easily while you're just holding it together? It's not because you're lazy or broken. It's because your brain was wired differently all along and nobody told you. But now you know. And that knowing, that is everything because being ADHD doesn't mean you're failing. It means you've been surviving with tools that were never made for you in mind. You've adapted, you've pushed through, you've carried more than people ever realized. And now that you understand your wiring, you don't have to keep blaming yourself for things that were never your fault. You get to build a life that works for your brain, not one that constantly punishes you for how it works. Because ADHD isn't just struggle, it's also insight, creativity, intuition, and depth. It's the ability to see what others miss, feel what others dismiss, and keep going despite the exhaustion. That's not dysfunction, that's survival. And now it gets to be self recognition instead. If any of this felt familiar, you are not alone and you're not imagining it. You weren't overreacting. You weren't exaggerating. You were ADHD all along. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.